sun-soaked and proud, hung in the rafters, wrapped in shroud. Hands work strong, they twist and bind, a rebel's oath, slow burned and signed. Burn it all, let the embers soar, gold in the ash and coal in the core. No masters here, no gates to climb, we blaze the trail, we love that time. Choke what we designed. The flames don't die, they realign. The pulse within begins to rise. We break the night and claim the skies. Burn it all, let the embers soar, gold in the ash and coal in the core. No masters here, no gates to climb, we blaze the trail, we love that time.
Welcome everybody to Burn It All. Captain RG3 here, getting ready to light up some sticks, hang out with my friends, and talk about crypto and cigars. All right, hey, before I get started here today, we are going to be talking about Plasencia Cigars. I have the Alma Cello. We're going to bring everybody else up here, and we have a special guest this evening. So, of course, as usual, Crispy from Hex Fire. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, buddy, what's going on? Big hand out to everybody.
Yeah.
Big hand out.
The Triple Dad himself, ready to roll. And
ready to roll.
Our special guest, and there's a reason for it. She's going to be able to throw us a whole bunch of information and knowledge and wisdom, everything about this company and the cigars, because they're her favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, and I said her. Oh, Wild SJ appears.
Appears.
What's up,
So
everyone?
I am at a local cigar lounge here in Orange County, and it is called Islands out in Brea. And it looks like SJ has found herself a cigar lounge too to stream.
I sure have.
Nice.
So anyway, a shout out to these guys, and also to let you know, I think SJ was here not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago herself, and you shouted out the wrong dates for their meetup.
It's not Saturday?
Wah,
It
wah.
is. I took a picture of it. It's their 15th year anniversary here at Island Cigar Lounge in Brea, and it is June 28th. 2025 from 6 p.m.
Which is Saturday.
Okay. He said that you had said the wrong date or something, so I was just making sure. I'm just passing along the message. So.
Ask them how much they paid for the ad.
So we're all jonesing because we all want to smoke these sticks that we got. Because I'll tell you what, Plasencia makes like some of the best cigars. I've not had a bad Plasencia cigar, and the reason for it is because Plasencia has been around for an extremely long time, and they've just recently started making cigars. I guess recently is like maybe I think since the it had to be later than that. But they started making cigars because they were growers. They grow tobacco. They grow tobacco for everybody. And I think they are one of the only companies that actually has a all organic cigar. So they grow their own tobaccos, and they have this one here, the Alma Fuerte series, and we're all ready to light up. So let's go ahead and slash and burn, guys.
Hey, actually, before we do that, I kind of wanted to, you guys, you can slash and burn, but I wanted to just bring up the point of like, how do you decide what cut for the cigar that you're smoking, right? So, like, for example, I think this is the first time I've smoked one, where it's ended like this.
A torpedo.
Yeah, torpedo.
So the way I smoke torpedoes is if you take the cutter, right, and you make it go a little sideways.
Little angle.
If you put a little bit of angle and not make it straight, you have more surface area.
Yep. Angle more angle.
Yeah,
like that.
Like here ish.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go.
And then usually
Oh,
cut that off.
Perfect.
And usually cut that off, and then later on, if it still tightens up, you can just cut a little more off.
When all of us were in Vegas and we're at that lounge,
nice.
when we were at that lounge, the lady wanted to cut my torpedo, and she asked me if I wanted it slanted up or down. And I'm sitting there thinking, does that really matter?
How does that matter?
If I can turn the cigar around,
It matters. It matters.
That's service right there, right?
Yeah,
exactly. It's true.
So I'm excited too. This is a limited edition. It's a Plasencia Year of the Dragon. So this came out.
Oh,
Would that have been last year?
Yes.
Yeah,
all those guys
that
came out were 2024 cigars. The Rocky Patel, Plasencia, I think Gurkha has a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Before I light it, it's a Campo, Plasencia Campo, one of the larger ones. It's big. I don't know what the ring band is here, but it's a good size smoke.
Oh man. These Plasencias are always so good.
Right? Just already.
Now, they're not the cheapest cigars out there. They are always good.
I got mine at a 25% discount.
How'd you do that?
Crispy's always getting the deal, man. Always getting the deal.
I'm looking for the deals, man, because I ain't gonna eat this expensive cigar, right? Right around here, they run about 25 to 30 a stick. And the place I went to, they have an old box. They hadn't repriced, hadn't reordered. Sell them for $19.99.
Nice.
Yeah.
And show them. Can you show them the hexagon shape on yours? Did you?
Oh yeah. I don't know if people can see that it's a hex. It's hard to see it. Oh,
right? Yeah. It is hard to tell, but yeah, Crispy's is a hexagon shape.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw it. I got to buy it, man. It's a hex. It's almost like a T-shirt, except this burns. So I guess it's not a T-shirt, but you know.
and the box those come in is awesome.
Is a hexagon.
Yeah,
it's a hexagon box.
Well.
Yeah. So all you Hexagons out there, you want to get yourself a hexagon box with some hexagon cigars, go and get the Plasencia Alma Fuerte. Is that what it is? Alma Fuerte?
Mm-hmm. Alma Fuerte Sixto.
Hey, Hipsy Paul Rica. Haven't seen you for a while. Glad you're in here.
Yeah, I see a lot. I hope we're not. Well, maybe I don't. I don't know. Well, hey, if you're influenced by us smoking cigars, I'm sorry, whatever. But it's good to see so many regulars. I see Tam out there. I see Beach Whale. Our buddy Jay.
Thanks for coming on by.
Oh yeah,
the Games Club.
DJ wants my trusty flask. This was Pulse Chain Tour, right?
It sure was. That was in the VIP bags.
Yeah.
For the Pulse Chain Tour event in Vegas.
Those were VIP bag gifts.
I kept telling my wife, those guys in Vegas, they gave me a solid state drive, and it's super badass. I'm gonna use it for storing pictures, and I finally dove into the bag, and it's a battery.
Yeah,
and my wife now has another reason to think that I am an idiot. She goes,
"She's so lovely, though."
That was a really good VIP bag there.
It was, buddy.
Yeah, the battery's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, the
battery's good. Cool. Even the Flask, I was kind of like, Flask, come on, everybody doesn't, but everybody seemed to like them, even you.
I love it. It's a good showpiece. DJ and Hexagon wants me to do a Flask giveaway.
He says he won it. Or no, Jay sold So I was like,
Maybe one of these days. I've attended many Pulse Chain Tour events, right?
yes, you have.
So I have a lot of doubles of things. Like I had a couple of the stamps for creating seed phrase things, right? I had a couple of those. I gave one to Ty when he came from Australia, but maybe I'll go through and get some doubles out and maybe a couple Brian Magruder hats, and we will do a giveaway on this.
Such awesome hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out again to Brian. He sent me a couple boxes of those new blue hex hats with the chrome hex on it. Very nice.
Who's this Brian Magruder you guys keep talking about? I don't know.
You know Brian Magruder? He's been giving away hats for a long time, Crispy. I know you know him.
You've never met Brian Crispy?
I did. I met him in 21. I did.
Yeah.
I did get one of the original hats. I have one there in person in
Great dude.
Vegas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was a hint, Brian.
No, not a
Yeah, he's been giving away hats for, I mean, since the beginning. He's been making hats for us and making hats for the community. Everybody, if you got a hex hat, you got a Brian Magruder hat, that's for sure. But
100%.
it's his thing, you know. That's what he does. That's his thing, and so everybody's got their own thing. Go out there and bring in a good word. And, he just does it with hats. Power bank giveaway. Hey, what's up, DJ? And
So what
How's
do
your
you guys
guys'
think?
smokes?
I was just going to ask, like, what's your first impression?
I love this thing.
Mine's really light so far. Very chill.
now, what was yours again? Chip?
Mine's the Campo.
The Campo. The Campo.
Mine's the best.
Yeah, yours is the hex. Yeah.
It's
It
the
is.
best.
The
Man.
hex
It's
is
the
awesome.
hex.
Hey, this
It's the hex.
this Alma Cielo is nice. This thing is really nice. But I like that heck. Is that the Maduro hexagon one, or is that the lighter?
It's the other
Looks
one.
like-
I think the
Yeah, it's
black
not
label,
Maduro.
the Maduro, maybe.
Yeah, but that's not really hex. It's kind of like squared off, sort of, right?
No, they have a Maduro and the forget what wrapper is on the other one.
They had where I went. They had a blue and a green. So it's the Celio or whatever, and the other one.
Well, the Cielo is the one I have, and that one's a different cigar there.
So do they have 3 different hex ones? Do they
Yes.
have black, blue, and green?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes. No.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. The green,
I-
the blue, and the black all come in the hexagon shape.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. I'm the Plasencia queen. I know these things.
Yeah, you do. You know more about.
I do.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was the first cigar I had that I was just like, man, this is like. I think it was. I'd smoked enough by that point to kind of start to understand, flavors and the subtleties of the cigar, right? So, I mean, I just got hooked, and not as expensive as this guy's favorites, but they're pricey. It's hard.
They are fine. This was $32, I think. 32 somewhere around there. It's pretty. So it's getting up there with big dollar cigars. For like a celebration cigar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
These aren't
an
every day.
Yeah, not an everyday cleaning the garage, mowing the lawn cigar. This is not. Yeah.
No. That's your MB3 right there, baby.
Yeah.
I love that master blend. When it comes to, you have to find them at a deal. So like Cigar Bit, you go find a deal, and yeah, my master blend threes. Those are my go-to everydayers.
I've smoked 2 of those today, buddy.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got your package in the mail today. Finally.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I sent you one of my hand rolls too.
Oh, that'll be very, very cool.
I'm gonna have to send one of those to Crispy.
We'll take
And
it.
then Also, if Crypto Ape's out there, I got his in the mail too. Sorry, buddy, it takes so long. Those things in the mail, the boxes were sitting in my office for like 3 weeks. I'm like, God, I gotta just get these. Casey says he enjoys the Tabernacle cigars. Yep, those are good sticks for sure.
Nice.
So SJ, what are you going to tell us about the history of Plasencia? Can you lay it out there for us?
More than I do. I will share what I listed in the description here. So let's see. Plasencia Cigars, a legendary family-run brand with over 150 years of heritage in tobacco cultivation and cigar making. They do a lot of other branded cigars. So they are a huge producer of the tobacco. And from what I understand, most of what goes out from their farms does not end up in Plasencia cigars. It's other labeled cigars. I watched a really neat video on the Plasencia farm itself, and I already liked them because of the fact that they are one of the only brands that has a branded cigar that's organic, all organic. And this little video that I watched, it shows you all of their organic practices. And so they do composting, any of the tobacco leaves or the leftover pieces from rolling and stuff, that all kind of goes back into the soil. And, that kind of leads me to believe that even if the cigars aren't branded organic, because you have to very specific, there's very specific standards you have to meet for organic practices. However, with what I saw in this video, I'm leaning towards the fact that I think most of their cigars are, if not labeled organic, at least organic practice, because of, they talk about they don't use pesticides, they're using this composting technique. So that was like one of the big things that drew me to them, and rightfully so. Like the quality of these cigars really just like speaks volumes as to how they've really crafted the creation of them over the years. And this kind of says a little bit about how they're renowned for the pioneering of their organic cigar production, their commitment to sustainability, and their cigars are constantly earning high ratings for quality and complexity.
Yeah, they're always hitting 90s on the some people have their doubts about the rating systems, but I mean usually the rating systems, the Cigar Aficionado, whatever, top 25. I mean, those are always really good cigars. Of course, it's corporate marketing and whatnot. And there are a lot of other cigars that are just as good or better that aren't, of the top brands. But they always make it up in the top 25.
This is
it's
just
good.
like
I haven't had a bad one yet.
I don't know if that's a
You're
good
right,
way to put it.
SJ, right? My folks used to run a nursery, right? And we grew, and I've told you this before, we grew gourmet and heirloom tomatoes and peppers, like
Nice.
30 varieties of each, right? And to even be able to hold that organic a rating to be called organic in a nursery, you not only can you not use pesticides on your plants, you can't have that stuff even on the property. You can't, even if you don't spray it on the tobacco, you can't use it on your lawn if your greenhouses are on the same property that your house is on, right? So it's a big deal. So you're right. If they have tobacco that is organic, a lot of those practices have to bleed through the rest of the line. It's a fact. That is. I couldn't imagine how my yard would smell with compost made from tobacco leaves. That would be the best smelling yard on planet Earth. It'd be like your yard would smell like something like a fermented tobacco humidor smell. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I got my.
wants my flask. You can't have my flask, Kyle.
He's
He just
asking
wants
for
to know
you
what
to
I'm
do a
doing.
Flask giveaway.
I sent her a selfie.
So now I've lost my train of thought. Doggone it. Anyway, probably wasn't important.
Well, tell us what you know about the Plasencia family. I know you often know a lot about the history of the families and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, they've been around for 150 years, which goes back to talking about the industry and how important it is, and how important it is to help it survive and help it get its, I guess, the stigma off of it, and you know what real tobacco is versus what big tobacco is, and distinguish them. And because I mean, a family like that that's been around for so long, that's done such good work, deserves to to continue to be in business. Deserves to have all the benefits of every other company that's out there doing good work. And, they've the challenges that they've gone through over the years, you can only imagine. For them to still be in business and still thriving and still doing well is a testament to who they are, not only as growers and cigar rollers and makers and whatnot, just their business acumen. They've had to endure some serious hardships, destruction, hurricanes, you name it, out there that have wrecked them, fires. They've been through the whole thing for 150 years and still be in business and still thriving. And it's a testament to who they are as a company. And another example of why things like this need to be protected so they don't get regulated out of existence.
It's a cool little factoid right here from the beach whale. 5,000 plus
right?
acres. Mm-hmm.
Is it in Nicaragua? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this little thing says hecho en Nicaragua.
Good farmers land.
Nice.
Never grew up.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
They had to survive Manuel Noriega then, right? that was a guy that was pretty much in charge of Nicaragua for quite a while. How's your cigar, Crispy?
It's really good, nice, smooth. So I'm trying to taste it, but I can taste the cacao. Got a little bit of cacao. I haven't picked up the almond taste though yet. So it's supposed to be a mixture of cacao, almond, maybe some other stuff.
Yeah, the black and green label, those are two of my favorites for sure.
This is a solid smoke.
Yeah, it's this one here too. It just has a lot of smoke. It's very light, a little bit of pepper, just a taste of pepper, and the retrohale is just so smooth and good. It's these cigars.
Yeah, they're awesome cigars.
A
I have
cigar.
a little bit of pepper on mine too, buddy.
It's all my diaries up here.
Eddie, I started to keep a lot of my labels, and then I was like, you know what, if it's a really great one and I think I'm not going to remember it right, I'll keep the label. But being a bus dweller, right? Like I'm always just like, what do I actually need and what do I not? A lot of people keep like a shadow box or like a vase or something full of their labels. So kind of yes and no for me.
I got one of those. I got a shadow box on my wall that I've been putting some labels in. I just picked it up not too long ago. It's already
I don't keep track at all. I mean, I keep track mentally, but I forget some of the ones I smoke, and I get to rediscover them again later.
Check this out, Crispy. I walked into their humidor today, and I know you guys all had trouble finding these for the Rojas show, but check out what I got today.
That's some taco.
Look at
there.
that.
Yeah.
Picked up some tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Breakfast taco and carnita.
Carnitas and
excited
breakfast taco.
try these
Now,
out.
what's that?
You raving about them.
Yeah, those are really good.
Pairing it with an acid rainwater, vitamin B12 electrolytes.
Got to get your electrolytes.
Okay.
The lounge brought that over to me.
I used to store bands in this. There's got quite a few of them in there. Some of the older bands were really cool. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had the ones where you actually smoke the bands themselves?
I had that.
What?
Yeah.
You've seen those.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Yeah, they're
How do you
kinda
know?
gold.
What do they look like?
Usually they're embedded,
Oh, interesting.
like gold flake, that type of thing. Undercut is it undercrown? Undercrown.
Underground.
Yeah.
They have those.
This
Those are
was
really
one of
good,
the
too.
best. This is a Ernie Ortega. They don't make them anymore, but they're very much like those master blends, but better.
I hate it when somebody tells me this thing was awesome. This is one of the greatest cigars I've ever smoked. They don't make them anymore. It was great.
Yeah, this whole base is full of those bands. I smoked half of the ones they made.
Recently saw a YouTube video about the benefits of nicotine. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out there about the benefits of it, and there's a lot of information on the minimal risks of cigar smoke versus
Cigarettes and vapes.
Still risk. Don't get us wrong here.
Get your own peril. I don't know. This is no financial advice, no cigar advice.
I
saw Pollywood in here. I haven't seen Pollywood
Yeah,
around
it's
for
a
a while. What's
Yeah,
up, Pollywood?
there he is. Yeah, it's good seeing him.
Yeah, America's friend is saying, are all you having a contest who can keep the ashes on the cigar for the longest? Oh, yes. Ash games, man. Ash games. So tell me, why do we do that? Why do we want to keep the ash on the cigar?
Well, you'll notice that once you do ash your cigar, it does change the flavor. It does get a little harsher. It burns a little hotter when you inhale it. The ash kind of keeps a crown over the hot tip, and it doesn't flame up as much. So the smoke is smoother. It's not as hot. It's not as burnt.
It's kind of like a heat sink, SJ.
It's like a heat sink.
Ah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then when you do ash, you want to see good torpedoing like that in the middle. You want it to be torpedoing like that. And then you want to have a nice smooth burn around the edges. This one's a little bit wonky, but not bad.
Mine's gone a little wonky too, buddy.
It keeps correcting itself. Not bad.
Yeah, I think I win so far.
Just a little wonky.
And the second third of this thing is just getting delicious. I just got into it. It's like peanuts and real nutty and cocoa.
Ooh. Yeah, it's also a way you can tell how well constructed the cigar is. You know, if it keeps its ash like this, usually it's been rolled well.
You see that nice tight burn line that's on hers too. How straight it is.
Yeah, I am very jealous of SJ's cigar. I am super jealous of that one.
This is probably I think this is the most expensive one I've ever bought. It was
really
near the same price as the Kelsey Plum cigar I bought for my bestie in Vegas.
Right.
But worth it so far. It's very nice, very light. I'm excited to get into the second.
Look at this. Look at DJ. He has some unopened pack of Chesterfield 1940s. Now, are they really from 1940?
That would be like a one of the packs that they put in little canisters for the war, right? Those were Chesterfields, weren't they?
I think so. I think so.
Interesting that they're less now. You'd think as their cigar ages and becomes more rare, it'd be more expensive. But yeah, I was under that.
No, it depends. Like when they come out and they get real popular, you know, people buy them all up at the prices, especially if they're small. And then if they continue to make them that year or whatever, put more out, then usually
Bring my ashtray closer in case, just in case it's getting
like cigar meme coins, yeah. Do we have any generalized crypto news to talk about? The thing I like that I heard this week was being able to use crypto as reserves to buy a house.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know exactly what the details on it are yet. Tomorrow, but yeah, I'm interested to see what that's about. But more than likely, what you're going to have to do is hold that crypto. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, sure, good on one hand, but another, you know, doesn't really mean.
Yeah, because
might want to mute a little bit.
I thought it was coming from your microphone, Margie. Ah,
No, there's nobody here.
nice.
It's dead in here. But yeah, I saw Brian Armstrong doing a lot of tweeting today too. He's really feeling his oats from all of this legislation that's been favorable to him and his business. His business is going to explode, you know. And you know, I don't hold it against him or anything, but he is centralized, and you know, he does have a voice. And I thought, you know, he was kind of one of the best people for the industry if it was going to be, you know, a big, you know, that's going to help with legislation or be a voice of the crypto community, speaking into the legislators. But again, I am cautiously optimistic about what it is they're going to do for DeFi and how they're going to treat us in the future. And you know, I mean, having a centralized exchange in charge of something like, you know, assets that are going into or that are going to qualify you for a loan for a home or whatever. You know, sure, I get it. But what risk and what peril do you do turning your crypto over to a centralized? We've seen what's happened. Now, Brian, again, he's been a good actor. I guess you would call him a good king.
but still a dictator.
Still a dictator.
Yeah.
And,
Well, yeah. Well, I'll give you a different little different flavor. This isn't as great as saying, "Hey, I'm decentralized. I control my own keys." But for mass adoption, right? People, good or bad, they want to be able to leverage their assets. They want to be able to borrow money. They want to be able to do it cheaper. They want to get the bigger house, whatever it is. And so, yeah, if somebody has been coming in crypto and, you know, they're, even if they are storing on an exchange, and particularly through their own brokerages now, right? All these different brokerages are doing it. Yeah, if they have $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 worth of crypto, of course they want that access. Of course they do.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
And it would emulate having a chunk of cash proving reserves when you're buying a house, right? So you would have to have those funds seasoned in an account for 60 days. And then once the house closes, even with cash money, right? Those funds go all over the place, right? As soon as that house closes and the people have the keys, those seasoned funds leave that account and they zoom all over the world. So I don't anticipate that money having to be in there long term unless you're using it as some kind of collateral, but that would have to be in a neutral party or some kind of escrow, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna flick this, SJ.
it's going. SJ's is going. I know.
C'est
I
la
hope
vie.
that that shirt is fireproof.
It's not. I don't want to put holes in my pulse chain shirt. That's why I'm going to flick it.
Yeah, speaking from a holy relic point of view.
I got my ashtray right underneath me, just in case.
I every time I go out to the grocery store, I have to check the front of my shirts to make sure that I'm going to the grocery store in a shirt with no holes. It's the worst.
Hey, you wear it with pride. Hey, you guys know Cory and Dan, right? Cory Guerreri,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Of course, you guys know those guys. And they're coming at it from the real estate side. Now, I've got some pieces of real estate, but I'm not a door holder, right? So I don't have apartments and all that stuff. I got other family members that do that stuff. But the typical cookie cutter methodology is, borrow to get what you need, fix it up, right? Do your refurb, turn around and rent it out, pull the money back, and then you restore, you're back to zero, but now you have an asset that's paying, right? So you have a house that's paying you, however.
It'll be interesting to see how they set it up and what you can leverage and how you can move in the market with that, because it's huge. It's huge once you have assets like that you can, put on a different home, whether it's connected to you personally or whatever, based on the assets that you have in. I mean, it's going to be, I want to dig into it and see, what their options are, because that could be huge for people in crypto that, want to leverage their bags to purchase properties. I think
Yeah, 100%. And I know we've talked about this before, and I know how Richard feels about it based on how he talks about, personal sovereignty, and you've talked about it as well. But there's got to be, whether it's a shift in technology or a shift in methodology, I don't know what it's going to look like. There's got to be a way where people can conduct business and live their lives and be safe, right? And so I don't know what it looks like. It probably doesn't look like, you don't know I have a wallet and it's hidden, but I want you to trust me. That probably doesn't work, right? And it probably shouldn't be all of your assets are on a centralized exchange that's that's uninsured, where you can lose all the value. But even for us coming out of Pulse Chain, people are going to want to buy houses and stuff or whatever. Yeah, it sure would be useful to be able to move that in whatever form it has to be in to something that would actually allow you to do that.
But here's the problem and the issue. And this happens in all of finance, and it's happened in crypto more than anywhere else because there isn't any real regulation as far as the government's concerned. And we saw it with FTX. I mean, we've seen it with everything, but FTX was the big glaring example of it, where they take those assets, they make you hold those assets, and then behind the scenes, there's no accountability. There is no auditing. And when Michael Saylor got up on stage and said, "Hey, we don't want you to audit us for holding reserves and stables. It's going to be too much of a burden for us." Those are the red flags. When they don't want to give clarity or be transparent with what it is they're doing, that's where you have problems. It's bad enough that we've had problems with FDIC, where the banks have been able to screw us over. Luckily, they had enough control. Well, not luckily for the citizens, but luckily for the banks, they were able to legislate themselves trillions of dollars in relief for their mistakes that they created.
Right.
So again, I don't have a lot of faith in the crypto industry or the financial industry when it comes to allowing them to make the rules and say, "Oh, we're gonna sell regulate. We're going to self, monitor. No. And this is where, so either you don't have it and you say, screw that, we can't have that stuff, we can't have centralization, or you have DeFi, or you allow it, but you have to have transparency. If you don't have transparency, then that opens a doorway for us to get screwed. And I guarantee you, if the banking industry is still doing it, the crypto industry is going to do it too. They're going to keep doing it. There is nothing special about the people in the centralized agencies in crypto. I don't trust that. I trust them as much as I trust the banks, or even less, to be honest. So, yes, it sounds like a great idea. Yes, it sounds like something that could be helpful. I'm optimistic. I'm like, hey, bring more products, but if you don't have some kind of transparency and rules in place, and there it is, bureaucracy, which everybody hates. But if you don't have that, you're going to screw the public. The general public are going to get screwed. And
oh yeah, well that path is always available, right?
If you combine Michael Saylor's statement with the real estate industry pre-2008, when they're doing stated loans. So I tell you how much income I have, and I tell you how much assets I have, right? But I do not have to prove it. And then if you put crypto on top of there and said, I hold $125 million worth of SHIB, right? And so you do a triple stated loan. That is where it goes wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's almost like, to me, crypto is better off completely decentralized. Well, as decentralized as you can get. Otherwise, we're going to have problems, and those problems never help the market, and always help the manipulators and always help the grifters. They end up walking with the money. They end up walking with everybody's stuff. Maybe they bust somebody goes to jail. But they end up, keeping the money, or the money was spent, and the people who got hosed don't get their money back, And so, what good is it if that's how it's going to end up? So, I think, like Richard always says, better to err on the side of caution. Screw all that stuff. I'm sticking with DeFi, and let's go and advocate for DeFi. Hey, Lil Boosie, what's up, man? What's up with you? Good to have you here. Good to have you here, man. Yeah, celebrate my 15th birthday. I'm going to do. He's 15. Oh, shit. With a 15-year stay. With his birthday.
Someone asked about tomorrow night. Will you be doing Effin?
Of course I will be doing Effin tomorrow night. I'm sure. I think I am. I don't know. Am I
I'm supposed to be. You're supposed to be off. But I guess that depends on whether or not
You're supposed to be off?
No, you're supposed to be off.
I'm supposed to be off. That's what
I guess it depends on whether or not you're hanging with the fam.
Yeah, I have to check and see if if the kids are going to come over and visit their old man.
I'll probably show up. But Effin will be happening tomorrow.
Effin happens no matter what. So, yeah.
But we don't know who's hosting. Is it going to be RG3 or SJ? We don't know which one.
SJ more than likely. But if I don't have my family there, then I will definitely be on.
Awesome.
There's a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. Well, look at that Ash game going on there.
Look at that.
So that's how good. Oh, look at that thing. Yeah, those are good. Mine's been just kind of falling off. I've only had it fall off twice.
Oh, I had a good day today. Somebody sent me 25,000 wrapped teeth. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that when I first saw it.
As soon as I go to take the picture, it's going to fall off. So we'll see. Still holding on there.
Oh, that's solid. Very solid, SJ.
Yeah, that one's looking pretty good.
How's that second, third going?
More flavor for sure. Super, super light at first. So I'm getting more of the spice notes. I'm still terrible at figuring out the flavors of these things, but take a stab
Every
at it.
once in a while,
Yeah.
every once in a while, I'll get something like this one gave me some peanut there. I was tasting
Yeah.
some-
It gets ridiculous. I taste huckleberry harvested in June, right? It's freaking so ridiculous. It kills me. Absolutely kills me.
And you know who does that really good is that guy. I think his name's Daniel from Pravada Cigars. He's really articulate with his taste. There's a couple of guys. What's the guy? Shoot, he does cigars on YouTube. Has a real kind of sing-songy voice. He's like, and he's always got some crazy flavor note on the retrohale and the palate. You know.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Those are rabbit holes, right? I could watch those guys forever, and then all of a sudden I realize it's 1 a.m.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is really good. Really good. It's actually mellowing out. The pepper's going away more. For those of you
mine has
who
lost
are-
its pepper 100% gone. No more pepper in this second third.
Yeah. The for those of you who are not cigar smokers, who are cigar curious, find yourself a good light cigar, or even these Plasencias. Plasencias are really light and tasty, but like Perdomo Champagne, those are really light and good. Some of the Camachos. There's a lot of good light cigars out there to get you started. That, you know, because if you get into something thick, you know, and you smoke a My Father Judge, or you get one of those, you know, heavier cigars. A lot of the Maduros with Ecuadorian everything, you know, they're pretty thick and might send you into the green room for a little bit, but. You get a good light cigar at first, and you'll get hooked.
Corojos are usually pretty light. Something with Corojo wrapper is usually not. Corojo or natural wrapper. Some of those have a lighter taste to them.
Oh, we went there. We like the steak and bake stream. It was 420. Yeah, those boys. There's something about streaming and getting drunk, or streaming getting high, that I think is probably not a good idea. I've seen a lot of bad stuff come out of that combination. But hey, you know,
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
what could go wrong, right? Famous last words.
That's one hexy mofo.
Okay, so I've got a fun piece of community information to share.
What is
On
that?
the 12th of July, if you are in the Southern California area, we are having a meetup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna do a beach day. I think we're gonna do probably like somewhere around Huntington or Newport, and just meet up at the beach. I haven't like worked out all the timing and details yet, but probably sometime in the late afternoon, I think. Meet up at the beach for a few hours, hang out there, and then probably go have dinner together after that. And then we are thinking of either doing karaoke or maybe going to do K1 racing after that. So
Nice.
in honor of Josh Wu, he's going on a road trip, and just happens to be driving down to Southern California. So he's going to be here for a little bit. We decided to do a meetup for one of his last days. So if anyone wants to come hang out with the Mexicans, you know, free except for, you know, get your own gas to get yourself there, and you know, just pay your way for dinner and for the rest of the karaoke or whatever. So yeah.
I really like Josh. He is a good dude. He puts out some great content. He's very talented too. I mean, the guy does his own songs, does his own movies, does his own memes. I mean, he's just He is great. He is really great. What an example of a fine young Mexican. He's also a reformed citrus fruit.
Look at that. Kinetics is
He's
in the
also
chat.
a year and a half sober. He was celebrating that.
Yeah, that's badass.
Year-
Congrats to him on that.
Yeah. Congrats to him on that. I didn't know if he was putting that out there, but yeah.
It's on Twitter.
Always.
What's up?
Okay. I talk to him in private about all those things, but I haven't seen it on.
Yeah, he tweeted it. I think today or yesterday he tweeted that he's like a few days away from a year and a half.
Nah, he's got 11 months solid is what we call it. So solid 11. You don't have a year yet.
There's degrees to that, right?
Yeah, like if you're a month
quit
away,
this one, but I'm gonna keep this one around for a little while.
Yeah. Well, that's what my I guess you call my sponsor says. If you're like somebody says, yeah, I'm about to be 10 years old, I'm about to be 5 years old. It's like no, you got a solid 4, you got a solid 9. Shut the hell up. A bunch of creepy pervs, John Smith says. Really?
Nice.
Yeah. Who are those guys hanging out with that beautiful young woman? I think. Are you talking about us here or the guys in the back?
Yeah, that's true.
We're all far enough away that she doesn't have to worry. But those fellers there, they're kind of creeping in, getting close. Look at that thing. It's still that is ash game right there, girl. Better hold that thing straight up.
That could be a champ right there. That would be the winner for sure.
It's not going to hold when I try and take the label off. I'm getting so close.
And
Kinetics. The ones on stream. Nice.
Well, they are too.
Yeah.
So it's always good to see Kinetics popping around. He's been behind the scenes, working for a long time and everything that we've done.
Kinetics looks so healthy. I don't know if he's ever touched a cigar.
No, he does. He'll have. Yeah, he'll have. He doesn't smoke them regularly, but he'll have one. He says.
All right, that's awesome. I would love to have a cigar with you one day, buddy.
But I mean, what's the well, if you're smoking them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had any issues, no lung capacity issues, no coughing, none of that stuff. I've already got a raspy voice, so it's not doing anything with that. But I only smoke cigars and palm trees are present. Well, you come out here and visit, bro. You can instead of the Great White Tundra, you can come hang out with some palm trees. I think he wants to come hang out in my backyard. Is what you think? Yeah, this is a great. So has anybody been kind of following what? Hold on a second. What do I got going on here? I have got. Oh, I've unplugged myself, and I am losing power. Better. Look back in.
That's a cool camera setup you have, buddy. How it follows you and stuff.
Yeah, this is the Osmo 3 camera. Follow you around. Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see what else going on. We smoke cigs and inhale. Yeah, and wheat. Yeah, you got to inhale that stuff. It's a whole different thing here. It's all about flavor and relaxation.
I'm picking up hints of tarragon.
And
1920s leather strap.
How about a little crushed passion flower? Grown the Gobi Desert and they're shaved.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you all think? Look at this. Do you all think we will see video postcards? So I think what Heximofo, by the way, welcome. Always good to have you. Another like OG of the OGs right here. Video postcards. I don't know. I know that there's been a lot of talk about a marketing plan, a marketing program, and whatnot. And we all know what the Hex favorite is postcards, and I don't know what that's actually going to look like. I know that a lot of people are out there trying to outbound market. Like we are streaming, we're trying to outbound into the cigar world. So you cigar aficionados are out there watching the stream and just wondering what we're doing here. We're trying to talk a little bit about crypto, trying to talk to people about self-custody, creating your own wallet, holding your own crypto, all that stuff. And, just trying to teach the basics of DeFi and try and keep it alive too and spread the good word. And we like the cigar culture and the people that are in it. Usually older folks that have money, that are interested in finance.
Me being the pervy guy, that looks like a solid 8 inches, SJ.
Nice.
Here we go.
Try to take the label off.
Right into the gutter.
Joe just took a turn. Big red candle, right down into the gutter.
Big
the
red
label off
flag.
without it calling it. Let's see.
So, where's
That was
Richard Hart
awesome.
these days? I've been away 4 years. Well, Richard can be found on Twitter every now and then. Usually every day he's on there putting out some words of wisdom, a couple of things. And I don't think Richard's ever stopped. I think that what he did, in my opinion, what Richard did, and for those who don't know, Richard Hart is the founder of the DeFi tokens that we do talk about often. But I think that he went away during the bear market, which was more than likely necessary. What more could he say at that point? Like,
I
that's gonna be another bad day.
would not say he went away during that market.
He
He
stopped
didn't go
streaming.
anywhere. Yeah, he was
He stopped interacting with the community as much as he had.
right,
And
in my
for,
opinion, due to legal reasons.
well, for many reasons, of course. There's we can look at a lot of different reasons, and I think that's what everybody needs to put together is, what were the reasons why Richard, because he gets a lot of shit online. You see it on Twitter all the time for why he hasn't been as active as he was in, say the bull market or when he launched the tokens and whatnot. And I think a lot of it is there really isn't much to say that he hasn't already said. There really isn't much to say. What is he going to do? Go out there and waste his time fighting with all these people out here?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think his time was better spent going and doing the things that he needed to do, which was, defend his innocence, go out and build things, get things ready for the next phase of all this. And I think he's there. And also, it looks like he's taking care of his health. Like I said, just going to come in jacked.
Nice. It was funny that DJ Hollywood's in this chat because 9 times out of 10, I am wearing a Brian McGruder special hat, and I actually bought this hat from DJ Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Him and some Mexican had it up in Portland or Seattle, one of those two.
I wanted to say too, real quick, that when it came to Richard and what he's been up to, I was watching What the Hex earlier with the Rags to Riches was on there with DJ Cryptomatic and Pete and Peter, and they mentioned, he had a team of 7 guys working on this wallet. So I can't imagine that they just stopped. Right, like I'm guessing that outside of this marketing endeavor, there are several other things in the works that we're going to see, hopefully.
So I was on RH Max's stream today. I was in Randy No Permissions meeting, and I'm on this stream today. All 3 of those talked about marketing and what RH is doing, what other people are doing. To have a buzz like that, I don't think there are a whole lot of other cryptos out there that have the whole community anticipating or participating in a marketing plan that looks like it's coming to fruition within the next couple months. So that's I think that's bullish for us, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. About 90% of the time, maybe 85% of the time, Richard Hart's timing has been impeccable, and he's timed things just perfect. Some of it was eerily perfect in the early days. And some of the things that are questionable, they might have been calculated too, for whatever reason they may have been, and for whatever reason we may not have seen. But I'll tell you, when it comes to playing chess in this industry, Richard is one of the best, and he's done a really good job at that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Almost, it's as good as this cigar. I appreciate what's going on.
Yeah, how are you guys liking your cigars now that you're getting most of the way through them?
Somebody in here said the guys are slacking on their cigars. I'm on I'm getting close to the third.
Mine was
I'm on
I think my cigar is bigger than everybody's. So.
Yeah.
I think they might have been talking about our ash game. But yeah, I'm down in the last third here too.
Yeah, I'm on my last third, but it'll be a while.
I hope so, because this thing is delicious. It is delicious. I don't want to give it up.
So the thing that sucks about candles and candelabras, I brought one I was going to put it on this couch somehow, because this is the couch I always stream from, right? And have for years. And it's in the garage, and all my red candles stayed straight, and my green ones melted. Because it's in the heat of the garage, and I'm going, oh, that's not a good sign at all. All my green candles went like this, and all my red ones were still straight up. And I said, I got to not stream in the garage anymore. It's not a good place.
Oh, foul. This is like free OnlyFans. Foul.
Without the feet. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Kinetics.
This is one of those cigars that you want to retrohale on every single puff.
So good. What are we going to do? What are we doing next week, you guys?
Look at that.
Oh,
Pants test. I am not wearing pants.
You guys have any ideas
As far as
what we do next week, cigar wise?
Good question.
Good question.
Paul's Jiu-Jitsu, Fast Abdul is in there. He thinks that we're all getting miniature boom boxes being sent out in the mail.
Does half of the audience even know what a boombox is?
He says we're getting Bluetooth speakers or headsets.
I assumed they were all going to be vibrating massagers, but
yeah, that's what they guys. I think who brought that up on the other stream? Maybe it was Saint Wolf.
Maybe Flask. Maybe they're going to be Flask.
Nice. I like my Flask.
digital flash.
Hex-shaped Bluetooth speakers, Jiu-Jitsu is saying.
They could be NFTs.
The NFTs. So something about NFTs. So
I gotta have a call with Crispy Man and remind him not to talk about NFTs on this show, because every time he says the word NFT, RG3 goes,
NFTs.
It does it every time.
So I mean, it's just, to me, NFTs in a certain, when they talk about all this tech adoption and what it can do, blah 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 blah. It just, to me, it's so gimmicky, and there's just other ways and better ways of doing things than using NFTs. Now, there is a technology, and I was talking to SJ about this in a meeting we were having. There's a technology. It's basically a cryptographic microchip, and the cryptographic microchip can be embedded into an item, a purse, jewelry, whatever, and hidden to where it can't be pulled out. Now it can be scanned and found, and you can hook NFTs up to that for authentication. So I think there's kind of a use case for that, but then again, that's in the the high end garment and item world, and I've never seen all this hollering about NFTs, and and I do think that there's maybe some stuff there for artists and whatnot, and the games and the people that are inventing games, and I don't take any of that away from anybody, and the 404s and all that stuff. But it's just a little gimmicky, and I don't think it's ready for prime time. They've done the same thing that every other coin or every other piece of tech in this industry has done. It appears that crypto is for speculation. It appears that
what
is for number go up and yield and making more of them and all that, and
speculation.
So I don't know what to say. I just don't have a good when I look at history, I don't have a good outlook on NFTs, because I've heard the same narrative for over and over and over again. And
so you're saying NFTs have a chance?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's a chance.
It's a chance. There's a chance. Well, yeah, it's interesting, be great how it all came about, but yeah, I mean, big disconnect between the fact that it's an image that can be just copied, right, and dropped all over the place. But I think the technology part of it, like you said, right, there's some sort of potential crossover.
We've all seen them work, right, on our chain with hex stakes. We've seen them work on 9mm decks, right? When you do a V3 liquidity pool, you're holding that liquidity pool in an NFT in your wallet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are practical applications other than artwork, right?
I just bought the Emit NFT in order to do the 0% with the funk.
Which one did you get?
It's got a mask with red glowy eyes.
I have one that has looked like a Jason hockey mask, but I don't know if you have a glowy eyed one. Usually in the realm of NFT, glowy eyes are a rarity. So I don't know. They're definitely not normal. There's only like a handful of glowy-eyed ones, and then
So here's what I see with that. The Bored Apes and all the things that came out, and they got popularity. The numbers went up astronomically. We saw what I don't know, was it Tron dude or whoever sold that real expensive one? I mean, in the art world, look, I've always said there's nothing new under the sun. In the art world, they use art to move money, to kind of legally, I don't want to say the L word, but to move money in ways that people would never not be able to move money before. So these NFTs, being art that can go up into crazy, prices, are a way for people to move money from one person to another, and do it
What?
under the guise of art. So a
No.
lot of people don't talk about that, but it's there.
The most practical the person I saw about that, I was watching the storage auction guys, right, one time, and the one guy that lives down in SoCal, or one of the guys that lives in SoCal, he said he can always throw a handful of paintings under his arm and leave his house and be walking with $10 million. Nobody would know it. Yeah. It is an interesting way to move money around. That's for sure.
Do you watch that show sometimes?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Did you
have
see
a-
Did you
an
see the
affinity
time when
for
they
it.
found that box full of NFTs? Sorry, bad joke.
How many NFTs can you fit in
I
this
did not.
box right here?
Well, there are, there it's true. We have some people doing some real work with NFTs that have
Yeah.
value. I mean, we've got the dark NFTs out there from anti-gravity guys, right? I mean, that's something that's accruing value. They've made some
Love
pretty
anti-gravity. That project's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got some pretty cool stuff. You got the emit stuff going on now. Though I'm not really highly versed in emit and what that NFT does, other than I know it accrues value. HSIs are, I'm warmed up to them a lot more than I used to be. But I mean, the idea that I can have a hex stake that's buried in there, it's earning yield and rewards, and now you can extract from it. There's multiple protocols that let you do that. So anyways, there's some use cases we probably haven't gotten to yet that are beyond the picture.
The cool thing that the Emit guys did was they used that money initially before they had adoption, right, for bootstrapping their liquidity pools. So they were using the pulse that they had to help bootstrap. So they didn't have to sell the Emit token that they were rewarding everybody, which is a good idea, right? So it's taking that whole process of economics for those that don't have a 200 grand to go fill the liquidity pools up, right, and have it drawn down immediately because everybody's selling a reward token.
Makes it a little more sticky. Yep.
Yeah, the other guys who did that were the best I've ever seen it done was Strong Nodes, right? Strong Nodes had NFTs that boosted the rewards on your nodes, and there was a bronze one, silver, gold, platinum. The platinum NFTs boosted several nodes output at one time, and those NFTs in the heyday of Strong were going for 50 Gs, and they served a function. They were boosting the output of those nodes, and the Strong guys, in theory, what they actually did eventually, they didn't have to sell a single Strong because they made all the money selling the NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
And so to clarify that, the emit NFT, I purchased it because what happens is if I'm depositing or withdrawing, it saves me the 1% fee. So because I hold that NFT, I don't have to I don't have a fee associated when I'm doing that. So like, worth it.
And those coupon, type values of the NFT are, a good use case. I like all that. But again, it's just more tech integrated, and
I know nothing of golden
These
beans.
guys are talking about my NFTs now in chat. Golden beans are
that's
still
nice.
around, Kinetics. They're still there, buddy.
they're still there, he says.
I thought he was just making a joke about beans.
No, there was a time. So the Tanging guys helped us put our NFTs together because there was a time when those guys were helping people in projects, and if you wanted to help release your NFT on their NFT Thursday or whatever it was, or Tuesdays. You would free mint Fridays.
Free Mint Fridays.
Yeah, free mint Fridays is what it was. And if you, they would help you set that all up. So J Money helped us, and Spooky helped us set, and I think Bullish helped us set up our NFTs. But then we changed it, and we reminted all the NFTs, and put them in everybody's wallet. So you still have them, buddy. Right now, the only use for those golden beans is if you put them on Bistro. Not unlike a Mitt, it cuts your fees for sellers. So buyers never pay a fee, but sellers do have to pay a 1% fee for whatever they're selling, right? And if you stake an NFT, it saves you 50% of that.
Is that on Baristo?
Bistro, yeah.
Barista.
It says you don't have any. It hit me up on in DMs, buddy. We'll find your NFTs. I don't know how many you have. If you have 5, I'll send you 5. if you can't find them.
Yeah.
I can't find mine either.
Yeah, that doesn't go for everybody in chat or on.
I lost them in my box somewhere. They're somewhere. I don't know where they are.
75. I have quite a few as well. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah,
5 wallets with 75 each.
It's very hard to find your NFTs, right? Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. That's for sure.
Yeah, so they don't get shown. There was a time when we had
when the wallets are switching all the time too, that
Yeah.
doesn't help him.
Exactly.
And then if you've got extra addresses hooked to your wallet, you got to go in there and dig around. Some of the wallets don't display.
But I will say that I've never lost one of Alex's HSIs. I know exactly where they are and how to find them.
That's because you're a hex guy, buddy.
Well, I mean,
I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can be difficult. I know that artists like Mana and then myself, when I did my NFTs, because they're a little complex, right? Mine were MP4s, so it was video, audio, all wrapped into these NFTs that we did for the Pulse Chain tour. And because of the complexity of them, it is some of the marketplaces don't recognize them. It's hard for them to show up there.
It's kind of a huge selling point for the way that Lilverse is doing it. Yeah, with the 404s, because those are traded on exchanges and those are tokens with attachments. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, the big thing with this kind of goes to RG3's point about the NFTs. And I'm not an NFT expert at all. I might be a Guinness, but not a genius.
Genius adjacent is what
I'm a Guinness. Yeah. A lot of times with a managed project, right? Somebody on the back end has to have access to be able to change out images and that type of stuff, right? Because these things are hosted, right? And so if they're not on a chain, like if you didn't actually publish it onto Pulse Chain, which is a thing, you can do that with images, right? Right into Pulse Chain itself. You need to have some sort of like third party ish type stuff. May not control the what you're holding as far as the digital version of it of the NFT itself on the blockchain. But getting the artwork to show up, etc., can be a pain. And then because people can do their own things, and this is what, again, RG3 was saying, if you have these different wallets, they may not accommodate everything, right? And so if they don't know to go look for what you said and what you did, then they don't know to show it. So.
Yeah, I gotta say, go ahead.
Oh no, that's just one of the things that bothers me about DeFi and technology and being on the cutting edge. We are on the cutting edge, a lot of us here, and we may talk over our heads, especially with
The
people
bleeding
trying to bring
edge.
in. But when you're playing with these bleeding edge technologies that aren't ready for prime time, you deal. This is what you deal with, and for the most part, the blockchain usually it's there. It's just digging it out and finding the UI UX that'll help you to do that in the proper way. And I think that's the problem with most of DeFi is how wonky everything is, and how hard it is to get things to function at the enterprise level. And I think that's where CeFi, centralized crypto, kind of beats DeFi, is that these things are still wonky and hard to navigate and extremely difficult. Like you aren't careful, you can lose your crypto very, very easy messing around with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, so kind of transitioning, well, not transitioning, but you said talking about the bleeding edge, cutting edge of technology. I want to shout out one of my favorite NFTs. Still is the Tank Talk. I mean, I don't utilize it very often, but I love the technology behind it. And a lot of people, there's little things that people miss, right? The last video I believe that Richard did, he low key shouted out Tank Talk without mentioning the name of it. He said, we've got NFTs that talk to each other, and it's just like, how cool is that? That we're probably one of the. I mean, I think that that technology has existed on other chains as well, but not to the extent of the way that Drac did it, and that whole. I haven't even logged into it in a minute, but I know there's been tons of updates, and he's doing a lot of really cool stuff with that. So it's really awesome to just kind of see all the different applications, right, that can come with the NFT tag.
I still have a Tank Talk. Those were very cool. I like those a lot. And I used to bug the shit out of my wife playing that song around the house all the time. You used to call me on my Tang phone.
Yeah. It'd be good to catch up with Drac. I'm gonna have to get him on stream and get an update on how that's going. I really did like that. I've got a bunch of those. Well, looky here. We've got somebody dropping something in the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, Rackham Rochelle. My buddy dropping us
Rackham.
1100 TRY. What is a TRY? What is a TRY?
Oh, I thought he was saying try 1100, but I don't know what that meant.
I would have to talk to.
What is that, SJ?
That is a currency, but we'd have to talk to Pulse Jitsu Fast Abdul to see how many dong that is.
Yeah,
he's got a calculator. Fast Abdul, if you're still watching, how much is 1100 tries?
yeah, Racky. I threw my back out for the last couple of days. I've been kind of down for the count. But we're playing phone tag. We'll catch up tomorrow, my man. And thank you for whatever that is. I don't get it. I didn't even
Turkish lira.
Turkish. Okay.
Oh, I like turkey.
At least one dong per dude on screen. That's what Kinetic said. Very true, sir. Very true.
I don't think that's how it works anymore.
It could be different, yeah.
Depends on your chosen configuration,
Yeah. Let's see. I am definitely on my last third, you guys.
Oh, yeah, I am too. I'm trying to slow it down.
Yeah.
Too
About normal.
These we all chose large cigars. For none of us to be done yet, and then we're an hour and 24 minutes into the stream is
these are long cigars.
Yeah, solid cigars.
I'll tell you what, I liked a lot of what they were talking about and doing, these orange folk back in the day. I wouldn't. I mean, I maybe got a little dick with butt at one point. I degened a little bit, but it's been a minute. I got kind of a sour taste in my mouth from some rotten oranges, but they do their thing. I let them do their thing.
They do their thing.
Well, there's a lot of good people over there, and, a few bad oranges.
Nice to see you, Mr. Max.
For whatever reason.
Can you actually have a bad orange? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can have bad orange.
One bad orange was a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Is that really how that goes? That saying goes? I don't know.
It's actually bad apple, yeah. But we'll stick with oranges on there. Sometimes if you can pick those oranges that grew off the rootstock instead of the main tree, and those are horrific. Have you ever had those?
Mm-mm.
So most orange trees are spliced, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get those branches growing off the rootstock, and they're not good.
All right, Max dropping a big 5-5-5-5. The Quattro Cinco on the stream.
What is this? What is this
Thank
Quattro
God.
Cinco? I see this
Oh.
everywhere. What's this all about? I don't even know.
RH Max, are you referring to the W pattern that St. Wolf was talking about today?
W.
Thanks a lot for that, RH. But everybody that RH is putting in the work, man. He is getting the events set up, the online events. He's streaming every day. He's putting out good content, and he's keeping it real and keeping it positive. And shout out to RH Max, the man, the myth, the legend. Definitely of the best of us. Definitely.
As long as the number goes up, community goes up, that's a W. Very true, Mr.
W. I didn't see a 369. I see an 11. I see these are special numbers, I see an 11. I see Quattro Cinco. Where's the 369? That's what I want to know.
Numerology sucks. RH Max is such a good dude. I hope that's one of his pronouns. Dude. Is dude one of his pronouns? I'm sure it is. I think everybody's got dude as a pronoun, don't they?
Yeah.
Bootsy is 5555 today. Now, Bootsy, you should not even be in this stream at 15 years old because this is a cigar and crypto show. And I can do anything that Bootsy is doing.
All right, fellas. So what did we decide what we're doing next week? What you're doing next week? I probably won't be on here. I'll be in the background.
Well, let's think. We haven't
Do you want to
done
pick another?
Rocky.
Do you want to do a brand or do you want to do a style of cigar? We got options.
There's still brands. We haven't done a Rocky yet.
Yeah, and then there's Patel.
Rocky Patel.
You didn't do Rocky Patel?
No,
I don't
we haven't
think
done one
so.
yet. I get a nice church bell of those, man. Nice one.
Yeah, I've got a few nice Rocky Patels in there. I've got one
Rocky
of
it
those.
is.
We can do a quick stream, and we'll do Mark Twain. It'll be a really quick stream.
A twisty.
I don't get it. Educate me.
It's a lower brand, not a high end brand.
It's like a gas station brand.
But they're reasonable in a pinch.
Yeah, like a Swisher Sweet, like Genetics is saying from 7-Eleven.
They get a pretty good Maduro. I like the Maduro.
Swisher Sweet Maduro.
No, the Mark Twain Maduro.
Oh, Mark Twain Maduro.
No Swisher.
One of these days we could do Robustos and do 2.
No, we do. How about next time we do 2 Robusto?
Crispy could do 3.
Smoker, yeah, you're going to be doing 3 too, man.
But I'm down for Rocky Patels. I've got a bunch in my humidor.
Okay, let's do the Rockies then.
I just got a whole bunch of the 5-packs of the barrel-aged Rocky Patel Edges.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's real good.
I went to a buddy's house and he's got 2 humidors of the size of refrigerators. You know, he's got a couple thousand cigars and just insane. And he pulled out a box and he had like 3 left. And he's like, these were my favorites for years, and they quit making them. He goes, only got a handful of them left, and they were Rockies. And he gave me one, and it's been sitting in my humidor, but I have not thought about smoking. I don't know if I'm going to smoke that one or not, but I got plenty of Rockies in there. I don't smoke a lot of them, but I got a handful.
I'm saving them up, huh? I've been trying to save one of each cigar and keep it in my humidor.
I've been doing that, buddy. Getting 5 packs and trying to put one on a different shelf.
Yeah,
My safe shelf.
my stash, my lower stash, where we keep them all hidden down. I don't smoke them.
But then I forget to order, and then I dip into that stash all the time.
You guys know this one? Do you know Zeno?
Yeah, Zeno, yeah.
Zeno, yeah. So I had a show up here recently. I picked some up. They're pretty good. Pretty good. Reasonable Nicaraguan. Good taste.
I'm just gonna say sometimes I wear glasses inside when I'm smoking a cigar because it'll get in my eyes. You got all the glasses over there. You don't have to worry about that. But like every now and then the smoke will like.
Always got mine on. Right on. All right, everybody. Well, we've been going at it for an hour and a half, and we are going to call it an evening. Anybody got anything pressing that they want to bring up before we close out?
Meetup July 12th, Southern California. Be there. Be trained.
I'm sure that
Or
SJ will be posting that all over. I will be gone. I will not be in town that day. I'll be in Tejas visiting my. I have family there that needs my help. They need to be there when they need you. So that's where
I believe I got a sign off from the wife to go. I brought it.
Really?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be there.
Come on. I'm going to miss you and Joshua at the same place. Come on.
So,
And I know we've got a couple Hexicans that are cigar aficionados.
yeah. Who else may be coming, SJ? Do you know?
I know for sure the guys from Exotic Rentals. We were talking about doing a part of the meetup there, but it's not going to work out. But they'll be there. Rizology may show up. I know he's a SoCal local. There's a woman, I can't think of her name right now, but I've seen her at a few of the local
Georgia
SoCal meetups. No, not Georgia. Georgia maybe might show up too. I'll let her know for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, because Georgia's down here. Yeah, I think there's going to be a good handful, maybe 15, 20 people.
Nice.
Boots says Uncle RG in Texas. Who knows? Who knows? I'll be out there. That's for sure. Right on, right on. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for coming. I think that we are going to be. I think that we're going to be streaming on Monday again. We are continuing to try and get that new show out, and maybe happening with the wave. So we're putting that together this Monday. That's our hopes. We've had to postpone it a couple of times, but we're working on it. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll be effing. Everybody's invited. That's your stream right here on this channel, Effing Hangout. We make Hexicans there. We've always made Hexicans there, and we will continue to make Hexicans there. So thanks, everybody, for coming. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week. Burn it all.
Bye.